Welcome back to another episode of Racing Bros NASCAR Podcast. Number 16. We're up to 16. We're like barely in the playoffs if this was a playoffs. But I'm with my co-host Brian. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I was pretty good the first time, and then so a little behind the scenes fact, we were recording something. Well, we were recording a podcast. We were only like about 10 minutes in, and I accidentally hit my space bar, and that's like my hotkey to record. So I stopped the recording, and tech fail by me. It only took 16 episodes, but you guys won't hear that part.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah, you guys won't hear that part, but just letting you know, this is our second time going through, so this can be a little weird probably for us. We were just getting through the preview of the race where I was about to go on a rant, so thankfully we didn't miss that because I want to have all the energy I can, But we're going to get into all things that happened at COTA. We're going to rate the race, go over how our picks did. We actually called one. Me and Brian, 1 and 2. Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, look at us.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, it looks like we know what to do, and we don't. But hey.
And I thought taking Kyle Larson was kind of a ballsy pick, not gonna lie.
He's not a bad road racer with Hendrick stuff, but hey man, it was a good pick. I had to choose the favorite, the Chase Elliott.
I mean, he won though, so
I guess
wasn't a bad pick.
I guess I get the bragging rights calling our first technically win. Good job, being pat on the back. Chase Elliott at road course, look at you. Wow, that's almost like calling a Dale Jr. Talladega win. Wow, so balls, much power. But hey, well, I guess we could say our second maybe win because I mentioned McDowell for a half second he could win. I gloated about that for 3 weeks. But anyhow, we're going to go over all things that happened in the race, answer some questions, go over big news item this week. We'll probably start, we'll change it up. We'll start with that. So the big news item this week is Chase Elliott's spotter, Eddie DeHunt, was arrested with charges of battery of an unborn child and assault on a female couple. Weeks back, about May 12th, he got arrested for the unborn child. And then we learned today from Bob Pockrass that September 7th, this all kind of started, of 2020, with the assault of a female couple. Bob Pockrass on Twitter's got a good thread about it, about different stuff, but the attorneys. So we're just reporting on what we heard so far. He hasn't been convicted yet, but he has been arrested, and he has been suspended indefinitely by NASCAR and Hendrick Motorsports. So that's all kind of the information we have now. As I said, Bob Pockrass has, all the details and stuff, doing his usual Bob stuff. So I'll swing you over to there to look at what Bob said and, get better information. But yes, Eddie DeHunt is suspended indefinitely by NASCAR and Hendrick Motorsports, so he will not be spotting for Chase this weekend at the Coke 600. So we'll keep an eye on that story and, give you more information as we get, as the information leads us into it. So anyways, on a better note, we're going to talk about COTA. So COTA. Going into this, I had no idea how COTA was going to be because I really didn't watch any races at COTA. I knew it was a high-class facility. F1 would go there. I think MotoGP would go there as well. So yep. I know some different racing industries would go there, but never NASCAR.
Mainly just open wheel.
Right. I never think, I'd see stock cars out in COTA. But if you told me 3 or 4 years ago that we would have 7 road courses, I'd be like, you're insane. But COTA, we had a big question going on this weekend. Like how is it gonna be? Is there gonna be a lot of people there? How's the weather gonna be? Is people gonna like it? I think generally people loved it or liked it. They had a big issue in the race. So we had a lot of people go to the rear at the start. So transmissions and other parts like the 10, 11, 14, the 15, 17, 38, 43, 51, 99, and then Blaney and Keselowski also went to the rear because they did some pit road adjustments. I think they took tape off or something of that nature. Wasn't that it?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Took a piece of tape off the radiator,
gotcha.
the entrance.
Yeah, I was just making sure because...
Yeah, Jeff Gordon made a big deal about it at the beginning of the race. They're like, oh, you can't do that. You're not allowed to take that tape off. You got to put it back on.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't talk about McDowell for 4 hours.
Oh, he did.
I mean, road racer McDowell we expect up there. He's a good road racer.
Right.
But still, my problem is when he's running 6th at Vegas on lap 3 when he started 6th. Let's calm down, Jeff. It's not the real deal. Well,
you can't count this kid out.
Shout out also to McDowell, though. He's still 16th in points. On merit. Like, he is in the playoffs on merit alone. Like, if he didn't win at Daytona, he'd still be in the playoffs. That's insane to me that we're...
I mean, good on him, man. I guess he deserves it this year.
Hey, he's running good. If he gets it on merit, that would shut up a lot of haters.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, now we got our 11th or 12th different winner this year?
I believe that's is that 11 or 12?
It should be 11. I would say 11.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 11 because Bowman won twice. Truex won 3 times.
Yeah, it is 11. You're right.
All right, 11. So Chase Elliott did win, the COTA Grand Prix. And we also wanted to give a shout out to Ross Chastain. He was wheeling it today.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I didn't think Ross Chastain was like some esteemed road racer, but I mean, he was top 5 all day. He was even leading.
He was a big underdog during this race.
I did not expect that at all from Ross Chastain. And when I think of Ross Chastain, I don't think of esteemed road racer. And then also, side note, I was racing on iRacing Sunday after this race and stuff, and I was racing Circuit of the Americas, and we were talking, like, usually they talk about the race and blah blah blah, who impressed them and stuff, and this guy just kept going off that Ross Chastain was being so aggressive in road, and he was just pushing everyone off, and he was just being so aggressive. I'm like, have you watched like a minute of this season at all? Like, Ross Chastain does this every week. He's like, well, he pushed off his teammate on one of the turns. I'm like, and then he almost dumped Matty D at fucking Homestead on lap 100. So what are you talking about? Like, Ross Chastain's been aggressive his entire career, and I thought it was one of the cleaner races he's had all year, and this dude was just kept going off well, he was being super aggressive. I'm like, no, he wasn't. I was defending Ross Chastain. I never thought I'd be in that position, where I'm defending.
I mean, it was also a road course on bricks where if you don't take the right braking point, you're going wide. So some of it could have been dirty racing, but then the other part of it was just maybe he messed up.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta also think this is a 3,500-pound stock car.
Yeah.
This car is used to F1 cars or even motorcycles. We got big, heavy stock cars.
Right, like you guys go what, 60 through the S's, and F1 would be going 90.
It's just totally different. We're a minute. Yeah. We're a minute off of F1.
Right.
Lap times, and we got these stupid heavy cars with no with shitty brakes and bad 4-speed transmissions. Like we're in the 1950s with the fucking 4-speed. But anyway.
Make sure you add those big spoilers.
Oh no, it was low downforce package. We get to 750, so we get all the power. But yeah, and then it was raining in different points. So the big part of the race that everyone talks about is the raining portion of the race. So in stage 2, well, stage 1 it was kind of it was raining light. I think the whole day it was raining pretty light until the end. And then around stage 2, all that water collected on the back straight of, coming out of 11 going towards 12, that long back straight. And we had an incident between, it was Harvick. Harvick was checking up for someone in front. And I think it was the 20 and the 12 were getting together. And Harvick was checking up for that. And Bubba didn't see him. And just basically pile drove into the rear of Harvick, lifted him up. He hit the wall, and he was done for the day. They're all done for the day. And then they get an interview of Harvick right after the incident. And he's like, oh, this is dangerous. This is the stupidest thing we've ever done. And blah, blah, blah. Like, all that. Like, how drivers usually are when they get interviewed or crash, right out the car. They're usually pretty hot. So I'm like, that's just Harvick being hot. It's not that bad. And then, I ate my words in 30 seconds when we did the restart. So then we restarted. Everything was fine. And then we got out of 11 going to 12 on that back straight. Then all chaos went loose. So Truex basically went into McDowell. I think McDowell was checking up because he couldn't see. And then Truex was just slow. And Cole Custer came blasting in there and hit him about 30 to 40 miles an hour, like faster at least. Lifted Truex's car up in the rear. He almost flipped over as well. And then they had a hardish crash in the guardrail too. And then the race finally got red flagged. So I thought Harvick was being a little like being a child. I'm like, racing's dangerous and stuff, but that was a little too dangerous. So we got to talk about that. So with, us racing on rain now, like we're, going to it and stuff. I know we've raced on rain in Xfinity before and a couple times, but now in Cup it's like kind of new. So with us racing in the rain, we got to like update the equipment. Like I was listening to Radioactive. Basically, every driver was saying the same. There's no visibility. This wiper sucks. It's wiping the wrong way. Like, I think Kyle Busch on his Radioactive was like, if there's a passenger next to me, they would be seen fine. So that's a talking point we want to talk about. So I don't think there is a problem with us racing in the rain. I don't. Other, series do. I don't think we can't. But we have a different, kind of problem. They've also red flagged races, for rain. They're in like different series, like the 24 Hours of Daytona. They've actually red flagged because there's too much rain. So I think if we have too much rain like we did with the stage 2 crashes, because they brought out the Air Titans and basically cleaned out the track, and the track was fine for the rest of the stage, and then most of stage 3 it was all good, and then at the end it started getting bad because the consistent rain kept on falling. But if we're gonna race in rain, we gotta make some better decisions. I think we gotta do the Air Titans.
It's hot in here.
It is hot in here.
Like, why is it so hot?
I don't know. It's like a sauna in here.
Like, bro, I feel bad for you.
I know. I'm like cooking in here like Thanksgiving dinner.
The door open, you can get a little air.
That won't help at all, but sorry about that. Just talking about my room and how hot it is. So, side note, I know you guys don't care. We got it in, like, we have air conditioning inside our apartment, and it hits every room, literally. but the bedroom. Even if you have like fans blowing the air that way or the doors open, it does not hit the bedroom at all, and it's so annoying. So the bedroom's just a sauna. Just every time you go in, it's just like.
Do you have a return in there?
Yeah, we do.
Oh.
And it just.
Maybe your return doesn't work.
I don't know. It's just
because your return should be sucking out some of that hot air.
I mean, it sucks off some of it, but it's like the house. Well, the apartment will be cooler, but then you get into here and it's like 10 degrees warmer. Like you can totally feel the difference. It sucks, but you know that's my own personal problems. Anyhow, back to COTA and the equipment. So, I think if there's too much standing water, because that seemed like the biggest problem, like standing water, and then the rooster tails. Maybe we could put, some like a small, like mud flap, or something, some kind of flap to, limit the rooster tails, because I think the rooster tails were a big problem. I would also get a more durable wiper. Don't get a wiper from Walmart, because what the fuck was that? Like, those wipers were trash. Like, these guys have major, like, engineering degrees, and they literally work for a NASCAR team. I'm sure they can figure out a fucking windshield wiper and not have it, like, smear the other way. Like, these guys are real smart, they can figure out how to do a windshield wiper, I'm sure. Or even have 2 windshield wipers,
Well, I mean, they had that whole defrost system sitting in front of the driver so that they could see something completely fine in case it's too hot in the car and, the condensation comes up. But, like, you're telling me that a windshield wiper is going to be too expensive or, like, too hard to get?
Right.
Really?
And then... And then I think the lighting system they should also either put outside the window or like have a rear defroster for the window, because that little square light they're not going to be able to see if they can't see through the windshield in front of them. Like, I mean, they can see their own windshield, but like the behind glass, if they can't see through that, how are they going to see the small square blinking light? So I think we got to update we got to get.
I think you could either do that or you could get like actual brake lights, just for a couple of races throughout the season. I mean, you don't want to take away from that look and add any extra unnecessary weight, but then it's more safe.
See, I'm thinking about having a light like more towards up top or something, because if you have it in
you can have a brake bar.
I was going to say, because if you have it up towards, like, if you have an actual brake light, then what if you just get smashed in the back?
Right.
Like, the brake light could fall out and, stuff like that.
Yeah, do a brake bar, or multiple brake bars.
Yeah, just have, I think it would be something along towards the rear of the car, like, through the rear glass or something. Like, have an actual brake light. Have that brightness, because I guess it's FIA certified and stuff, but have that brightness, but maybe have it bigger or on all the time so people can, see it. So we won't have like stuff like we had that time. I mean, even the spotters couldn't see. They're just like, whatever, you guess what's happening, because we can't even see. So I think if we have standing water, automatic, like, I think it should be, I don't think, like, if we have like a little puddle, like, we should just stop the race. But if we have like a big enough puddle, cars start hydroplaning and stuff, just red flag it. We're stopping the cars. Close to stage 2, just end the fucking stage. Take your 15 commercial breaks. Just air tighten the track. Take 20-25 minutes. I know you don't want to break the action, but I'd rather see, the cars actually be able to try and pass and, make moves instead of, going to a turn and wondering if they're going to hydroplane or not to the, rocks like Kurt Busch did. So, I want to see, NASCAR try to implement these. Try to get the air titans out sooner for standing water. Maybe better rain course equipment. Because I think the tires should be fine. I think the tires,
Right.
are doing their job. I don't think any of the tires were a problem. It just,
No, I mean people weren't randomly spinning out when hitting the gas.
right.
So
I think the tires are good. Just we gotta, update the wipers and the lights.
yeah, I mean, you're telling me that little rag does a better job than your windshield wiper?
Right. Yeah, and then
And honestly, even though I was clowning the Rain-X, man, like that was actually good.
right.
They said that worked better, and just like don't even use the windshield wiper because it's not doing anything.
Yeah, that is what's even the point of the windshield wiper. And then I think this is probably also as worse as conditions as we can also race in. I know it wasn't like heavy rain. It was just long, consistent rain.
Mm-hmm.
With these cars, like, we can't... It's not going to be pouring rain and we're going to be racing out there. Like, it's going to be somewhat similar to what we have now. Well, what COTA was. Like, a consistent rain, I think it's doable that we can race in. But we just, like, after the stages, maybe run the air tighten down. Get some standing water off and stuff like that. I know we don't want to break up the action. But also, we know Fox or NBC doesn't care about, commercial break, that's good with us.
Mm-hmm.
I know it'll make the, seem longer. But hey, I don't want these guys just pile into each other like fucking go-kart tracks.
Right.
Like, I mean, that was looking a bit clownish with all those pile-ups. Like, Harvick was right. That was a little dangerous, not being able to have people see and stuff like that.
Right.
So hopefully we can implement some better stuff for next road course race. Sonoma, I don't think they'll have to worry about it. It's summer, California, wine country. Won't have to worry about rain really. But maybe Road America or something like that, we can have maybe a better wiper, or maybe some flaps. Some easy flaps to, keep the rooster tail down. So then the wiper won't have to work as hard, and then we can see better. And then the air tights thing, I mean, they can implement that easy, Just fucking put it out earlier. So, that's a couple ideas I think we would have for the rain at COTA. It was a good race, though. I enjoyed it. Other than those really... two blemishes, I would think. But also NASCAR handled it well in adversity. I know they were kind of a tough spot, but they did give the teams like Rain-X and some towels, and then they went to a single file restart, so that kept the rooster tails down, and then they got rid of the standing water eventually. So, the rest of stage 2, and then the finish of stage 3. I mean, I know we didn't finish it all the way, like we had 15 laps to go, but from 2 to when we stopped, there wasn't really any major trouble. Kurt Busch slid off, like hydroplaned off. That was really about it for any troubles. So Chase Elliott,
But I gotta say, that was pretty impressive, him getting back.
Yeah, he just drove it through, man. Kurt Busch, savvy veteran. And I don't know.
Not everybody can do that.
And I don't know how he didn't hit Austin Dillon or even Kyle. Was it Kyle? Or it was someone. I can't believe he didn't hit any of those cars. Like, he literally wedged the gap right in between of not hitting anyone.
I think it was Kyle, yeah.
But
it was like that perfect passageway, and he just hit it.
It was like the Red Sea parting for Moses was basically how it did for Kurt Busch. But
yeah, Chase
Elliott gets his first win. We were just talking about how maybe Chase Elliott is the weak link at Hendrick. Not anymore. All Hendrick drivers, like all 4 Hendrick drivers, got a win first time since 2018. So good job, Hendrick. And then we're gonna rate the race. I thought it was a good race. It was a lot more racy than I actually thought. There's a lot more passing zones than I thought there would be. It's one of them. It was pretty enjoyable, other than the, little rain fiasco that we had. But I think we handled that as best we could, and hopefully NASCAR takes some better steps so rain racing could be better. And I hope they do, because that better entertainment for us. Seeing our drivers and maybe uncomfortable situations they're not used to. Trying to handle these cars in the rain. But other than that, I would give this race 65 out of 100. Thought it was a pretty solid race. It would have been probably higher, but the little rain fiasco, brought it down some. That was a little embarrassing, a little meme-ish right there. But I'm gonna give it a 65 out of 100. Solid race, good road course. I hope it does stay, because I do want to see COTA on the schedule. That's a new market, Austin, Texas. That's a high-class facility, and I want to see him continue to race there. So I think it was a pretty solid race, and yeah.
I agree and disagree with you. I'm not gonna lie. I agree with you on the fact that it was a really good race, and there was a lot that happened that I don't think anybody really could have planned for in that short amount of time. But at the same time, you got to take some actions. I'm giving the race a 75.
Okay.
Because of the fact that I know it's going to be a big controversial topic, but I do appreciate the fact that they were looking out for the drivers rather than sending them back out with the insane amount of rain that they were getting that day.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean, it started to get to a point, where you can't see the car in front of you, you're going to hit them off track. That kind of sucks. I mean, but like you said, this is kind of what made NASCAR look better on a road course. And that's that these drivers were able to take a track where overtaking is actually really difficult. And I mean, the track in general, it's a really difficult track. I've driven it in simulators multiple times.
Right.
And it's not easy, I can tell you that. But they took a track that's not so easy to drive and not so easy to overtake in. And they're like, oh, look at this spot. I'm just going to go ahead and overtake them in turn 20. Like nothing. Or, there was one overtaking the S's, which I don't remember who it was. I think it was Allmendinger over somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked crazy. It was a really, really good move. Like, you would never expect a car to do that, because then you're afraid that, these cars are going to crash. But, no, I honestly, for this being NASCAR on a road track that they haven't done much before, I gave it a 75 because I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was very fun.
So I think we both said that I think we think COTA was successful.
Oh yeah.
And I think it should stay, because I
hope it does. It was fun. Just next year, NASCAR has to kind of, they have to do something to help the drivers be able to see, be able to drive. And I mean, I'm going to argue that these are probably the safest cars to drive in the wet weather.
Yeah. Yeah, I might not have all the equipment, but if you get in any accident or anything, it's a closed stock car with all this foam and safety enhancements and safety bars and roll bars and stuff like that.
Right.
So, but we also think COTA was successful.
Yes.
I heard through the grapevines of Twitter that they have an option. They have like an option year, because this was just a 1-year deal between Speedway Motors and COTA. So Speedway Motors, presents most of the races. They don't own COTA, so they have to go through someone else, like a third party. And they have an option. And then Speedway Motors said, they hit all their goals basically, everything they wanted to put in and stuff. So hopefully they pick up that option and we can see the next gen cars here, because that would be exciting. Because the next gen is supposed to be better on road courses. So even though this was a pretty good race, like even though with the rain stuff and then probably ending early and then Chase Elliott winning, usually people were not as keen as those races, but I think it was solid. The battles that we had, it was entertaining.
Right.
I was entertained throughout the race, and that's all we could really ask for.
You also have to think about the fact that it wasn't just NASCAR saying, hey, we're going to end this race here. Like, we're not going to ask anybody's opinion. We're just going to end it. They actually went up to multiple drivers. I think it was mainly the ones that were still on the lead lap. Because I think there was it like 15 cars were on the lead lap still?
No,
or maybe it was something less than that?
No, it's probably a lot, to be honest, because
okay.
Can't really lap on the 3.5 mile road course.
Right. I know that there was something, but I think up to 15 cars they went out and asked, and I believe the only car that said selfishly, in his own words, he wouldn't have wanted to stop the race was Kyle Larson, because he thinks that he would have been able to win that race. But I mean, if everybody else is okay with it, they're like, okay, well, majority, we're just gonna end the race.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think for safety reasons and stuff, they shouldn't, have kept it going. But
right.
I mean, that answers both our questions, really. We're going to talk about the, how do we improve our rain technology, and then with COTA, does it stay on the schedule? We both, said our opinions on the rain technology. Better wipers, better, I think, actual equipment. We think the tires are fine. But then, the rooster tails and visibility and stuff, we thought, we can improve that with some small changes. And then the air tightens with the standing water, we can also do that. That's pretty easy. That could be implemented next race, just have it out quicker. And,
you could also ask these tracks, hey, you want to get more drains on the track? I know that they do have drains on every track.
Right.
Especially road courses. But I do think that they are weirdly spaced out.
That would be okay with the drains. That would be a harder thing to implement soon.
Right. No, yeah. That would be more like, okay, we're going to redo this track and it's going to take us maybe a year.
Yeah, because you got to...
Here's what we'll implement.
You got to redo, like, the drainage system and, like, how...
Right.
Because, we don't know how exactly, how does all those drainage systems... we have an idea how the drainage systems go, but we don't know if, like, you can just pop on one, basically, and just connect it with the pipe onto the main hub or wherever all the water drains or something.
Right.
We're not plumbers. We don't... we want to say that we are not plumbers whatsoever.
No.
Don't take zero plumbing advice from us. I can fix a toilet once in a while, maybe. That's about the plumbing experience I have. So, but other than that, yeah, I think it was a major win. Well, not a major win. I think it was a dub. I think it was definitely a dub.
Yeah.
I think COTA should stay. And, we can just kick off Michigan or Texas. But now we go into our longest race of the year. So it's the only race with 4 stages. It's 400. So there's going to be, how you get points for stages 1 and 2. So this one, you get points for stages 1, 2, and 3.
Oh boy.
And then stage 4 is just, how stage 3 would be on regular races. So there's going to be more points dished out this week because, NASCAR. Because we have to be weird and have the only race, Let's have 4 stages. We just couldn't do a normal 3. Let's just do 4. Okay, that's fine. Sure. It's just a big sure, but... Yep, longest race of the year, 600 miles. It's going to be Coke 600. Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully we see a lot of fans. We see some patriotic schemes. Some worse for the wear, as we've seen. But It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be fun energy, long race, endurance race. Who's gonna last all 600 miles? This race in the past, there used to be, it used to be a real endurance race because the engines and shit used to be like worse. But now these engines are basically bulletproof, so it's not as endurance-y as it used to be. But it's still an endurance race. 600 miles, that's a long time. So should have some fun battles. PJ1 is going to be applied to the track as well, so we'll have the extra grippy stuff. So either yay or nay, depending how you feel on the super grippy stuff. I'm a purist, so I would say nay. But we should see some good battles. Probably be a little strong. Well, probably the cars are going to be a little closer, but they're not going to be, better battles than they would be before. And me just saying boomer stuff like, it's not the real horsepower, it's choked up on horsepower. We only got the 550 horsepower package. So other than that, I think it should be a good race. I'll be watching all 600 miles. Woo. This race I can already feel it's definitely going to feel like it's going to feel long. Cause,
you're going to have to grab like 3 meals.
Yeah.
It's going to be there from breakfast, lunch, and dinner until you go to bed.
4-hour race. But other than that, we're going to pick some winners. So I'm going to take a winner that we haven't picked at all this year. Kind of someone that we might not like as much on the show. I'm going to take Joey Logano in the 22 machine. I think, he's usually fast at Charlotte. Penske is fast there. Penske's probably... I think they have their crew chiefs back, so they should be all good. So I think Joey Logano is going to take the win. And then as a back mark, a dark horse. As a dark horse, I'm going to take Chase Elliott. Because I think... I'm kidding. You were just like...
I was going to say...
You were about to say, what is that trash for a dark horse?
I heard Chase, and I'm like, oh, he's going with Briscoe. And then I was like, Elliott? Wait, what?
Brian would have said nothing on the show, but then after he's like, so Chase Elliott as a dark horse. You would have just brought it up all casually. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I think actually I'm gonna choose Ricky Stenhouse. I think he usually runs pretty good at Charlotte. That's my dark horse. He's got a trash paint scheme, but I'm still choosing him as my dark horse. I assumed you were gonna pick him as my dark horse, or your dark horse.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Hey, no, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna change my mind.
No! Don't change your mind. It's okay.
I got a new dark horse.
Oh boy,
Drew Ricky. We're going with my man Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain 4-2 baby. Let's go. Hype. Clover machine. Let's go. Hype. He's probably not even running Clover. But no, I think Ross Chastain should have a good run. He's been, since Martinsville, he's having top 15 runs every week. So I think he's going to continue that. Mr. Ross Chastain. Dark horse. Watch out for my boy. All right, now you can go.
You didn't have to change, but I mean, I appreciate it, I guess.
I like his car better.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, my dark horse is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's had decent finishes here. What?
Boo! Just kidding.
My winner, I was between two people. I wanted to go with the Penske partner, but instead I went with the strongest SHR representative this year.
Eric Almirola.
I might as well go with Briscoe at that point. No, Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick is my pick for this week, and that'll be my second time picking him.
KH4.
So,
Hunt Brothers
KH4.
Pizza. My man. 45 years old, Father Time. See you later, homeboy. I should have just ended the podcast on that. People would be like, what? I would, yeah, every
I would have been like, what?
Every week we pick someone. I should just end in like a rap, you know? Just make some verses for Joey Logano.
Please don't.
JL22, Joe Logano, Pennzoil, gas him up. They make oil. They make oil. They make oil, but we're gonna gas them up with some oil. Alright, anyways, before I embarrass myself.
I also thought about going with Kyle Busch because he's had a decently strong couple of races there.
KFB 18 M&M's machine. Gonna take the world by storm. His name's Kyle Busch. He's rowdy. He's the man in the black hat. Oh no. Alright, let's end this. Okay. I'm just gonna cut all that out. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Anyways, thank you all for listening to another episode number 16, our COTA review, and then our Coke 600 preview. So thank you all for listening. Thanks, Brian, for also bearing down this episode. You know,
thanks for having me as always, man.
Hey, you know, you're the only one to do it, so. But we'll see you all next week.
Later.